For someone who has such a limited capsule wardrobe, I feel like we are getting rid of quite a few things here. Welcome back, and I hope you're having an amazing day. If you're new here, my name is Shannon, and today I'm going to be decluttering my husband's wardrobe for him. We are a minimalist family of 4, and my husband has a somewhat capsule wardrobe, and he is pretty minimal right now. But the reason why we're decluttering is because he has a lot of clothes that are completely falling apart and destroyed, and he's given me the go-ahead to do some decluttering for him. Just pull out the items that are really messed up, and then he is going to give me the okay whether we declutter those items or whether he wants to keep them. And the whole reason why I'm helping him is because he is very busy. He works a full-time job, and then he's also renovating some areas of our house right now. So he does not have time for anything, and since I'm the one who always does the laundry, I've noticed that his wardrobe is really going downhill because his clothes are somewhat destroyed from his jobs that he does. I like to start with a basket just so I have a place to put the clothes, and I'm going section by section starting with his nice shirts. I know my husband really well, and I know that there are certain shirts that are still good and that he loves to wear, and I'm just gonna pull those out right away and get them out of the way. If you know that there are things that you want to keep, I always suggest doing this. Take out the items that you know you love, know you're going to wear, and your tried and true pieces. Set those aside and get them out of the way, and then it makes it easier and gives you more room to go through and question all the items that you're unsure of. Since we have decluttered his clothes in the past, and he's a very minimal person when it comes to clothes, just in general, this is very easy to see what is extremely worn down and it needs to be replaced or needs to be decluttered. I know he likes this one, but there's a lot of marks on it and some dried glue and things, so I'm gonna set this one aside. The pile that I'm setting aside, I'm going to go ask him about, and just in case there's something that he does want to keep, I never want to declutter anything for anyone. I want to make sure that they want to let the item go themselves. This is what I'm talking about. He wore this to do some painting, and you can see the paint splotched down the whole shirt, so I think this one needs to go. Since becoming minimal and wanting to stay that way, I have adopted a 1 in, 1 out policy. I don't have a strict list or anything like that, but usually when I declutter an item, a lot of the time I will replace it with something that I need, or if I bring something new into our house, I will then declutter something that I no longer want. And it's just a general rule of thumb I like to keep in the back of my head whenever I am shopping. Okay, here's another example of a shirt with a whole bunch of stains on it, so I'm going to ask him about this. I found 6 shirts that look super ratty and have a whole bunch of stains on them. I'm going to go ask him what he thinks about these. I feel like this is a really good example of someone who is decluttering that is already minimalist. So for instance, if this was my wardrobe, I would be doing the same exact thing. I would not have to contemplate whether I like something and whether I wear it often enough. I already have exactly what I know I love, I know I wear, because I've already gone through it, and I go through it seasonally. And normally I know when I declutter my stuff, I'm just decluttering the things that look super worn out or I no longer get value out of, and that's what these shirts have become in his wardrobe. So I'm just gonna okay it with him. He might want to downgrade these to work shirts. I'm just gonna go find out. I just spoke to him. He said these can all go and these 2 can be downgraded to work shirt. And since I'm going through this section by section, like I said, we've already done our initial declutter. If I was doing an initial declutter, never decluttered before, I would probably not do it this way, but I'm just gonna put all this stuff back, get it out of the way. Through trial and error, I have found it is so much easier and less overwhelming to try to get things out of the way when you are going through this decluttering process. I'll probably reorganize this later. One tip I have is try not to get bogged down and slow down by organizing as you go, because it can just delay the whole decluttering process. Now I'm just pulling out the next section of his work shirts that he wears at home when he's doing projects, and I'm just going to walk you through my process of how I declutter. I have a full decluttering ebook if you would like to check that out, linked down below. These are his actual work shirts for his company. I'm just going to leave those. As I'm going through this pile, I'm looking for shirts that have holes in them or are something that he never wears. Even though they are work shirts, there are still some that I never see him wearing. So I'm just going to ask him about those. And I'm also looking for shirts that have giant stains on them that are maybe past the point of wearing even as a work shirt. I'm going to ask him about this because I never see him wear it, so maybe he just doesn't like it. If you do a lot of projects at your house and you have clothes that are past the point of donating, like these clothes cannot be donated, they will have to be thrown in the trash or recycled. A lot of the time we will cut them up and use them as rags for the projects that we work on, especially projects like when you're staining something and you need to use material, but it's going to get thrown out in the end anyways. This one is pretty bad. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a lot of staining on this, so I'm going to ask him about this one. Work shirts are meant to have stains, so maybe he wants to keep it. Now I'm just putting back the work shirts that I know are in pretty good condition, that I see him wearing all the time. And again, this is just to get them out of the way because it really helps to alleviate the overwhelm when you're decluttering. He decided 2 more could go. Now we're on to the shorts, and we have a combination of things here. Work shorts, nice shorts, and hang around the house shorts, and we also have swim trunks. You know, he wears all of them, I know that, but there are quite a few that are in really bad condition. I'm just gonna pull out the things I haven't seen him wear in a long time and the ones that look really messed up, and then go ask him. I haven't seen him wear these in a long time. These are new, so keeping these. Ripped, I'm gonna ask him. These are tried and true. I've taken them in for him. He's had them forever, but they're looking really bad, so I'm gonna ask him. This is exactly how I would be decluttering my own items if I needed to go through my stuff, just going through each item one by one, looking at it, making sure it's still something that fits me, that I enjoy wearing, that isn't ripped or looking super worn out. And those are just a few questions you could think of as you're going through your items in case you're on the fence of whether you want to keep something or donate it or get rid of it. Okay. Gonna go ask. Should we put some of these aside that we replace them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so these I never see you wear.
Yeah, they're done.
Done? What about these? They have a hole in them here, but it's up to you.
They're pretty done.
They're done, okay. 2 shorts he decided can go, and these ones we need to look for replacement work shorts. As I suspected, he said these ripped ones can go. And he said he never wears these, and I never see him wearing them, so these can go. All of these 4 pairs, while he did say look like they're in terrible condition, he said he has to have some kind of work shorts, so we're gonna keep these and keep going with them until we can find replacements. And I usually look for work shorts for him at the thrift store because while it is hard to find his size, they usually have much larger clothes at the thrift store for some reason. I find that I don't want to buy an expensive pair of brand new shorts just to be completely destroyed with paint and glue and everything with woodworking. So I do look for secondhand shorts, and that's where I found most of these. Another quick tip I forgot to mention is make sure you have all of your clothes before you start decluttering or going through them, just so you don't have to do it again. So I just made sure I had washed all his clothes and had them all in here before I started going through them, because I hate when all of a sudden I see something and think, didn't I go through that? And you know, better to have it all at one time. And most of the hanging stuff he wears all the time, and it's in good condition, so I bet you we're keeping all of this. I just quickly went through his hanging stuff. It's all in really excellent condition, and I know I see him wearing it all the time, so I'm leaving all of that. Up here are more of his at-home hangout clothes, and I know he's been wearing all of these items all the time, so I'm leaving all those. And then these are just his slippers. He normally just wears work shoes, flip-flops, which he's wearing right now, and slippers. So very, very minimal here. And the top drawer is socks and underwear. And since I do all the laundry in our home, I always go through that stuff for myself and for everyone in our family. When I see something worn out, I just toss it out immediately. And then usually once we get down to an amount where we're running low, then I purchase replacements of those items. So I go through that all the time. I know I don't need to go through it now. One tip I have that really helps when decluttering is make sure you have a basket or bin to put everything in that you are going to question or ask someone about, or that you know you want to get rid of. And that just helps keep everything really organized so you don't get confused on what you want to keep, what you want to donate. Since he's already very minimal, I'm going to pull each category out rather than pull everything out. And there's so many different ways to declutter, but I find the least overwhelming way to declutter is to go by category. So I'm going to start with his work shirts, and then his normal shirts, and then his shorts. And that way, if I get interrupted, since everyone is home right now, I know I've already decluttered one certain area, and then I can just pick up the next area when I can get back to it. So this is one way I declutter, and I hope you were able to get some tips from this. I am joining a group of decluttering channels in the clutter-free month of January, and I will link that full playlist down below. And if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button to join my channel, because I have a lot of decluttering inspiration this month and in months to come. I've also linked all of our other channels down below, so you can check those out as well. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! For more decluttering tips and photos of our home, you can check out my blog, shannontorrens.com.